Hey, it's me, Mercury. Welcome back to a new video of what if Deku had an elemental manipulation quirk. And today is going to be something different. So we're going to start off where we last left off, was Izuku giving the speech at the sports festival. So it's announced that the first thing that they'll be doing is a race. So everybody kind of hyped up for it, and they get to the starting line, and Izuku's just wondering what should he use. Now, he activates One for All, but he also activates his lightning and water manipulation, and he's about 15% One for All, and let's see, yeah, pretty fucking strong. So yeah, so he activates that, but something changes. A dark energy starts to seep out of him, and it creates a wing on his back. And everybody sees this, and Midoriya is surprised because he's never done this before, and it's new. So the race begins, and he launches himself forward, and he's going faster than he thought he would. And he realizes that the wing's boosting his speed overall. So he deactivates One for All, and he slows down. And he gets to the robot part. Now, everybody is trapped behind that wall of ice, and they are trying to get through. And Todoroki's about halfway to the robots, and he's just looking like, damn, I need to be careful with that. So he jumps up, and his wing starts flapping as he gets halfway up to the robot before he starts falling. And he latches onto it, then jumps again, and gets to the head. Then he focuses on his dark energy, and he manipulates it to where it's more like a glider than a wing now. And he jumps off of the robot's head, and he starts gliding, and he barely makes it past the, what's it called? He makes it halfway across the pit thing. He lands on one of them, and it turns back into a wing. And he's just getting extremely exhausted, and he can tell. So he doesn't try anything else with it, but he does increase his blood flow, and that helps him with his exhaustion. So he starts walking along the ropes. Well, yeah, walking along the ropes, and he sits down and rests when he gets to the end. And Bakugo and Todoroki are catching up pretty fast. And he's just looking at them like, I ain't got time for a break. And then he starts running again. And he reaches the lane mines, and he just hops through it. Like he's going through it pretty fast, but he's slowed down enough for Bakugo and I forgot his name, Todoroki, to catch up. So they're all neck and neck, and Midori doesn't have One for All on quite yet. So he activates his lightning and water manipulation, and his wing starts to grow for some reason. He's not activating his dark quirk, it's activating on its own. Then hears a voice. You can't control me yet. I already told you. And startled by this, he accidentally falls. and the wing slowly disappears as he activates One for All along with it, and he just boosts. He barely catches up to the two boys, and it's a three-way tie. And everybody's surprised by what happened, and they didn't, and they're kind of confused as why Deku, well, froze up. So is Todoroki and Bakugo, and they ask him what's wrong, and Deku's not listening. He's deep in thought, and before Bakugo grabs his shoulder, he looks up and is like, "What do you want?" And they say, "We've been calling your name for a while." The they're about to announce. They've announced the second thing. Dang, I forgot what it's called. The horse race, horse, whatever it is. I forgot the name of it. Horse thingy. Sorry, I need to brush up on my knowledge on it. It's been a while since I watched it. So yeah, cavalry battle. That's what it is. So he's like, "Oh, thank you. Uh, who y'all going to pair up with?" So they say they've already got a team, and they just wanted to make sure that you were okay. That's when Uraraka and Jiro walks up to him. And they both look at each other like, "Oh, come on." So they both ask to be on his team. He, of course, agrees. Then he goes and looks for another teammate. And that's where Tokoyami comes in. Now, no, I said Momo. Yeah. So, it's those four. Let's see. Jiro's on top. Jiro's the rider. And Deku's a horse, along with Momo and Uraraka. So, the race begins, and Deku's extremely tired because he's fighting the darkness in him, and he's barely holding it back. And like during the middle of the battle, people in the stands just stand up, and Hisashi and Inko are there. They've been watching it the whole time, and a guy behind them reaches forward and grabs Hisashi's and Inko's neck. And and the people that stood up just bring out weapons and start holding people hostage. And this catches everybody's attention. Yes, I'm adding a dark twist. And so everybody's confused, and the cavalry battle stops, and everybody's just watching as people are being held hostage. And Deku, he looks around. He's like, "I know what's going on," and he says, "Who did I put on top?" Jiro down. Now they were having a blast. They've kept their headband for quite a while. So when when they sat down, everybody else gets sat down too, and they're all just looking around, and he sees his mom and dad with a guy holding a hand to their neck. And he's wanting to go up there, but he has a bad feeling. Again, if he goes up there, they're going to die. And the voice comes back in and says, "If you unleash me, I could save them." but you have to release control to me. Pick one. Save them and give me control, or sit here and watch them die. Now, a villain, the person with the hand on his parents' head gets handed a mic, and he lets go of his mother, and he's like, now just let go of the other one, and I'll fly up there and I'll rip your face into two. Like, this is going through his head, and he speaks. Now, here's how we're going to do things. You are going to give us a few students, two students. Well, a student, I should say. And we're going to release the hostages. But for hurting me, he's going to go through some pain first. As he pulls Hisashi closer to him and says, I found this kid's parents, and one of them is going to die today. Now, Deku, he's enraged and scared because he just got his father back, and now he's going to lose either his mom or his dad. And what he doesn't notice is that someone's standing behind him smiling with a knife in their hand. Now, he says either he walks over to us because, well, he knows who we have, and surrenders himself, and we leave. Or he doesn't. They die. One of them dies, and, well, we get them anyway. Now, Deku, he starts to walk forward before he gets grabbed on the arm and says, don't go. And his mother, well, Shigaraki puts the mic to his mother's mouth and tells her what to say. Now, before anything could happen, she grabs onto the mic and says, Izuku, don't do it, don't listen to him. Before he rips the mic from her and pushes her down. Well, knocks her down. And he says, well, for that, this man's going to die. And he touches the final finger to his neck. Now, Midoriya and everybody in the crowd, everybody is just horrified. And Midoriya is crying because he's just lost his father. And he goes to grab the mother, but other people grab onto him damn, sorry, but yeah. So other people try to grab onto him, but he says, don't forget, we have other hostages. Now, All Might, he wants to jump in, but he can't. Because if he does, then the hostages will get, well, you know. So, Deku, a dark aura just starts to surround him. Well, no, not yet. I want to do one more twist to it. So, he's angry, and one of his eyes turn red. And the person with the knife notices this. And Momo looks back at him, and she says, you need to calm down. It's going to be okay. Just breathe before he gets tackled to the ground and with a knife in his back. And Momo and Jiro are taken aback because the person who stabbed him was Uraraka. Yes, none of y'all expected that, did you, bitch? So, she stabs him, and he pulls the knife out and turns to face her and asks her why. Well, because it's was my job. I had to do it. And at first I wasn't hesitant, but then I got to know you. And that's when I started to fall for you. But someone was getting in my way. So before anything's done, she has got to go. And he gets angry. Like, he's not just angry, his heart just starts breaking. And tears start to run down his face. Because even though they haven't known each other for long, he did develop feelings for her. She knew it, and she says, well, damn, notifications is a bitch. She says, well, maybe next time when we meet we can start over. And that's when she notices that one of his eyes is not crying normal tears. It's crying black tears. And he lost a father and someone that he loves very deeply. And that's when he goes into his mindscape. Everything around him's like stopped. Well, he doesn't go into his mindscape. Everything around him stopped. And the 8 figures pop up again. And let's see. Anger. Heartbreak. Let's see. The 8. Damn, hold on. Wait 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So I got the 8 emotions, which is love, sadness, fear, they're not just emotions, they're feelings, emotions, stuff like that. Love, sadness, fear, contempt, loneliness, happiness or joy, anger, and I forgot the last one. Hold on. And heartbreak. So those are the 8 emotions or feelings that come with the elements. So yeah. So right now he's feeling the heartbreak, the anger, the loneliness, and sadness. So yeah. So the dark. So the ones that they're connected to, which is water, the dark, the lightning, and I believe said loneliness. So ice. Those 4 step up and say, "We greet you, Master." And they form into a dark. They go to the dark figure, and they form him. They all merge together, and they form a version of himself. But he has black hair, black eyes, and all around a cloak made of darkness. So the other 4 say, "Now you need to know us." So the time resumes, and well, no, not yet. So the figure, his dark self, comes up to him and says, "I am not under your command. And they tell him how. He tells them how to call for him. Now I'm not going to say it because. So, time resumes, and everyone notices that Deku's standing up. He's not on the ground looking up anymore. He still has the. He's not crying anymore, but there's a mark where the tears on his left face left a mark. Basically an indentation from his eye down to his lower cheek. So yeah, so he now has a scar. Well, a type of scar they think is a scar from that. But and well, Shiraki's like, how did he move from there to there, and what's going on? And he says the words, dark, uh, dark rule. No, dark rules. And they just see a cloak forming around him. Now, Shigaraki's like kind of in shock, and then he turns fearful. And before he can move, his legs get trapped in ice. And people that are holding knives to other people's throats, they're. Well, let's just say that they can't feel the arms no more. Because he basically paralyzed their arms. And everybody's confused as he looks up. His left eye is black with red, but his other eye is still the same. And he says, "Well, y'all ain't going to escape today. Y'all made a mistake, and that was hurting my family." So, yeah, dark twist, but hey, gotta do it somewhere. Now, before he could do anything else, a figure appears up behind him, and it says, "Time for you to. Well, it's time for you to truly embrace the dark." And a sword gets stabbed straight through his chest. Now, everybody's surprised, including the villains. And that's when All Might rushes out and knocks out a few villains. And Shigaraki sees this, and him, Uraraka, get teleported away while the rest of the villains get captured. Now, Jiro, she broke down at seeing Midoriya like bleeding out and on Midoriya's death's door. And the figure grabs him and drags him into a portal made of darkness. And they just disappear while Jiro is trying to run after him while Momo's holding her back. And that's how that went. Now, the sports festival did not get to continue because of the villain attack and what the fuck happened to Midoriya. Now, Inko, she's devastated. She gets home and she's just locked herself into her room. Now, Mitsuki's trying to get her out, and they're just talking. Now, let's cut back over to in the morning, where Deku just left. So, after he left, her father says, "What were you two doing?" "Nothing, I swear. We did nothing. We just were talking and we fell asleep by accident." And he says, "Are you sure that you can do this? If you've fallen for him, it's going to be extremely hard to do what you have to do." I know, but I can do it. Trust me, I'm ready." And that's in the mother's concerned Cause, and she says, "Well, you better be, cause if you're not, then everything that we've worked for will be torn to pieces. That boy has to die. You know that, right?" "I know, mother. I know, mother. I know. Just stop it and let me get to school so we can get this over with." "Okay." And that's how that interaction went after Midoriya left their house. And her parents, upon seeing this, are ecstatic. But then, at first they're ecstatic, then they're confused, and then they're just horrified and overjoyed at the same time by what happened. Someone they don't know ruined ruined what they were ruined their plan. Now, yes, they are a part of the League of Villains, and no, they're not. Yes, they're top rank, but they're not the leaders. But so yeah. So let's cut over to Jiro. So she is with Momo, and she's just holding on to Momo as if she can't, hold on to nothing else, or she'll just disappear. And yeah, now Momo is saddened by what happened to Deku, and they're both crying, and they're at Jiro's house, and Jiro's father is trying to comfort them, and so is their mother, and it's not working because Jiro's not paying attention to them, and they see this and they don't know what to do. So they just give her some space, like a little bit of space for time after time. And they talk to her. It's been about a week now since Midoriya died, they think. Because they don't know exactly what happened to him, if he survived or not. They just think that he is dead. And he basically was. Because he got stabbed through the chest with a sword. And it was a pretty big one at that. So yeah. Now, that is where I'm going to end this. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm sorry if this made no sense. I kind of came up with the idea after a few comments. Like, I was kind of wondering what to do. I got a few comments, so I was like, okay, I got an idea. Let's do this. So yeah, that's how that went. So before I end this, I just want to say I am going to start working on a new one, and I have a few ideas. Hold on. Now, one idea is, what if Deku was the son of Hephaestus? And another is, what if Deku had a evolution quirk? Now, I have more, but I'm wanting to start one of these two first. And I want to know which one I should start. And yeah. So whoever wants to, just go down in the comments, and I'll do something, and y'all can like the one that y'all want to see first, and I'll do that one. Do that one sometime. I'm not entirely sure when. So yeah, I hope y'all have a nice day or night, and bye.